Oh, hello. Look at that.
Wait a minute. I deleted 430 lines.
I still think Matt's feedback is spot on.
I wasn't really paying attention, and actually I was just like, oh wow, I just exited. Did it fail? What happened, right?
Like the UI gives me like a whole different perspective.
I used Copilot to kind of just write up sort of like a list of like the available tooling in that container. Why is it that for some targets you call just again? If you already have WSL installed, it's really not a big deal. It's going to set local path to home directory /.local.
This is the most cross-platform safe way of doing it in Just.
Even after deleting this, Just in Windows still works for me. As one of the rare Windows users in this group, I just wanted to make sure. Really, my primary goal was just to kind of make sure everything works for Windows. And I think really with the switch to Dagger, especially for the local environment, because it's all containerized, it simplified everything really. Since I already had like the local debug flow working on my machine, I started to think, well, my machine, I've been tweaking it and adding like missing programs and missing like, things to it. And so what I ended up doing was I created a Hyper-V like fresh install like virtual machine of Windows on my machine. I basically took note of the minimum set of software that I had to install to get everything working. And the good news is it's pretty much like Docker and Just. Like that's basically all you need. Everything else kind of happens transparently. So yeah, what I basically did was I can go to the changes here. The big change I did was to the main like local dev like markdown file here. On the README, I just added I added the prerequisites that I confirmed, and then also I made a note here specifically for Windows users. The thing that I kind of concluded is I wanted to use Just like directly from Windows, like from PowerShell, and we kind of got it working. But then I realized there were other strange bugs. So the really interesting one that I found, and I don't know if this is an old thing, and maybe the Just commands have changed, and this is no longer the case, or maybe I don't know which Just command causes this. I think it still can happen, but I wrote this issue right here. Now, if you run Just from Windows, right, it's going to set local path to home directory /.local, right? And home directory in this case is going to be the Windows home directory, which is C:/ blah, blah, blah. Now, however, all of our commands are bash commands, right, that go and run in WSL. And so what ends up happening is when this local path gets used in bash, it ends up creating like this directory like locally in your repo instead of like in your user home directory. And as you can see, it's basically like I actually don't know what these three characters are. One of them must be colon, and the other one's a slash. The backslash, right? And so it ends up creating like it created this. I guess it's doing like local builds. It must be for one of the more production related like operations that you have in your Just file.
So it's actually for all the dependencies. The reason why you only need Just is because when you get hurl, or for example Dagger, or even OP, the 1Password CLI, they get automatically resolved now, and they get installed in that home directory local in a bin directory there.
Okay.
So it resolves those dependencies.
Yeah.
Now, if we can replace home directory, home dir, with $home or the // something like that. The reason why I picked this function is because my understanding was this is the most cross-platform safe way of doing it in Just. But if it's not the case in Windows, then maybe we need to find something else. I mean, $home, I didn't even think it would work in Windows, to be honest.
I think $home is available in Windows.
Okay. We can also alter this. So we can say, if operating system is Windows, have a slightly different behavior. Do use a different local path.
Yeah.
The reason like this variable is used in a bunch of places to install dependencies.
Yeah.
And in WSL, I think something else makes sense.
Yeah, that's where I'm just like, let's just simplify this. If you anyways need WSL, right, let's just tell the user, like, you can't run this command like in PowerShell, just start WSL and run your commands there. And I mean, it's not really a big jump. Like if you already have WSL installed, it's really not a big deal. So yeah, I would just say like that was kind of like what I decided here. I kind of just said, the path of least resistance here is like, let's not try to make this like cross-platform and perfect, for both scenarios. Let's just say, hey, don't run this command in PowerShell, go into WSL and run it from there. Anyways, it's actually easier on the user, because if you do use PowerShell, you need to install just in Windows and in WSL, which is kind of funny. What the heck happened here? That's odd. That updated. That must be local dev. I don't know how that ended up that way. It's funny. Local dev. Cool.
Reading your own stuff, including code, I think is a superpower. Not enough people do that. One of my favorite things, by the way, is to review my own pull requests, which is really weird, but I always do that. Like whenever, after I submit a pull request, I go over the file, because almost like the UI gives me like a whole different perspective into what I just submitted.
The thing is, I'm completely blind to things that I write. Like I will write a sentence, and I will reread it, for errors and typos, and I'll just skip the typos. Like I miss the typos. I don't know. I think it's kind of common, but yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing. This one, I basically, as you can see, I deleted 430 lines. I think
these are my favorite contributions.
I think
these are so good.
You're going to have to double check, but I think all of this is obsolete, right? Because especially for local dev, right? Like I don't know if there's anything still relevant in here, but it didn't look like it to me, so I just went ahead and deleted everything. I
think, Matt, we need your perspective on this. And also, there's a bunch other files that should be deleted, which are still not deleted. So maybe we can do like this could be the pull request that cleans things up, right? And you didn't do it from a fork, so this is good. All four of us have write access to this repository, by the way, which means that you don't have to fork.
Oh, okay. I did do a fork actually, so this is from my personal repo, or is it?
It's not.
Oh,
no,
it's
no.
Not. Oh, okay, great. No, wait.
It's not. It doesn't have your name and then a colon. And because it doesn't have your name and a colon, it means that you pushed a branch to the repo.
That's so funny, because I tried to push it to my fork actually, but
maybe you did. But this pull request was opened from this repository.
So really, the only other thing of note here is for the local development thing, I kind of just explained what happens, right? You run local debug, and basically it puts you in a container that has a new set of just commands that you can run, right? And I think that's a great idea, but I think it's not super obvious to everyone. So I did that. I used Copilot to kind of just write up sort of like a list of like the available tooling in that container, and Copilot did like this for me, this architecture sort of diagram of like what's running. I don't know if this is complete or not either, and so I ran out of time to verify this. Yeah,
that looks pretty complete to me. That you have the three apps. There's a few more things, but this is a great start from like a high level perspective. So this is good. This is very, very good.
Yeah, and the other thing is, let's say you wanted to run the benchmark, right? I kind of explained you're going to use tmux. If you're new to tmux, go look at go learn about tmux, or the bare minimum I did give like assuming, I even tried to assume if you've never used tmux before, right? Like you can do these, and I showed the user how to start tmux and how to get out of it even, as well. And a few just kick the tire types of like operations they can do to confirm that everything's working.
This is very helpful. I still think Matt's feedback is spot on. tmux shouldn't be the only way, unfortunately, to run another container and attach it and all of that. I mean, I still didn't have time for it. It's a little bit more complicated. You have the one-liner, Matt, so that will be very good to use.
I did see that one-liner that Matt had. It execs on the Dagger container and then execs on the container inside the Dagger container.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just put that as a just command, right? Like,
yes.
Like shell to
that was my thinking
law,
too,
right?
Yeah.
And then it's just a simple command from the outside that anyone can do. I think that is easier than tmux. I think especially if you don't already know tmux. Yeah, cool. And I mean, just because of that, like let's get not support Windows. Like I just went ahead and deleted like this line. Although oddly enough, I'm really confused because even after deleting this, just in Windows still works for me. I don't know what the heck is going on, but yeah, it's
wow.
Nabil, when you run just in PowerShell versus in WSL, what does the OS function return? Does it return Windows for both?
Ooh, I don't know. Let's try. Okay, so we could just do here at the top.
Could you echo both the result of OS, the function, and OS_family function?
Actually, I was going to ask, why is it that for some targets you call just again? Like, why is it always at just here? Is that...
If you do just, it calls the Dagger command, and if you don't have Dagger installed, it resolves it. So I'm basically wrapping the tool that you want to use in just, so that if you don't have it, it will install it.
Ah, okay.
And then the at silences, right?
Silences it, correct, yes. Yep.
All right.
This will let us know if we can target just only, I won't use just, if we can target only PowerShell separately from WSL.
Looks like that is the case.
Okay, so, and then what happens if you, is that running in what, WSL?
No, this is not WSL. This is just regular
so that's PowerShell.
PowerShell. And then here, if I run the same command, Linux.
Ha ha! Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I had another issue as well that I put in. So the first time I ran local, debug, it ran all of that Dagger, logs and everything, and then it finished, right? And I wasn't really paying attention, and actually I was just like, oh wow, I just exited. Did it fail? What happened, right? And so it took me like a few seconds to notice that, oh, I'm en route, like at some random container, like host name. And so what I want to do as well is I want to add like either some kind of like welcome message when this ends, or at least even this prompt, like change it to pipely local debug or something, just so that it makes it a little more obvious to the user where they are when this operation finishes. Yeah,
that's a great idea. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Look at that.
Wait a minute.
Hello. How are you? Hi. And now there were 5.
I missed it. Wait, who did I miss?